And we're live.
Yes. Welcome in to the Tim McKernan Show from the HomeLoanExpert.com studios. It's the Pick Six podcast presented by the great people at Tullamore Dew, Tim McKernan, Action Jackson, Prod Joe, the mysterious G Unit, Iggy, and Gangster Pete with you here, picking games and just flat out breaking down this polarizing Missouri-Georgia first quarter. So even if you're not betting it, we're going to talk about it here on the podcast. It's all presented by Tullamore Dew. Celebrate your favorite team's touchdown this year with Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey. May their feet be swift and their aim true. May the refs be forever in your favor and your whiskey always. Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, smooth sipping Irish whiskey made exactly for game day moments like this. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy Tully responsibly. Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, New York. Gentlemen, before we break things down, Jackson was telling me the players did not perform at a high level the past week, and that producer Joe at 4-2 was the best we had to offer. Is that accurate?
No, it's not accurate.
Whoa!
It is entirely inaccurate because I was 4-1 with a push.
Oh, and here we go.
So 4-1-1.
Not 4-1. We don't count pushes.
Okay.
Same winning
percentage.
Car accident this morning. He's feeling fine, but may want to take mercy on his soul this evening.
I will bite my tongue. I will bite my tongue.
I bite my tongue at you. I bite my thumb at you.
I'm fine. Have at it.
You can go ahead. All right.
I heard
4-1, and what was second place?
Second place was 2 3-3s. You and Jackson both went 3-3.
Jackson, you got to feel pretty good about that. That's like going 6-0.
I'm crawling out of the basement, baby. I'm crawling out of the basement.
And Tim, you hit your lock, and then everybody else was 2-4. Unit, Pete, and Ken were all 2-4.
There it is. So what are the standings overall as we head into the month of November, Jack?
Standings overall are as follows. Tim, you are leading 28-26, 6-3 on your locks. I am 27-26, 6-2 with my locks. Unit is in third place, 27-27, 5-4 with his locks. Pete, 26-28, 5-4 with his locks. Ken is 24-29, 2-6 with his locks. And Jackson, 21-33, 3-6 with his locks. Although he did hit his lock last week with the Suns Kings under.
Nice, Jackson. You loved it. Are you going heavy NBA this week? I assume.
Oh yeah,
all
4 of them.
Our overall record as a group is 153 and 169.
Nice.
But we are 27-25 overall with our locks.
Yeah, so people know to bet with us when we give out a lock because
losing money. They would be losing money, just not as much.
Right.
Bet with Tim and Joe for the locks because they got pretty much 80% of those wins.
All right, Joe. What's your record on the locks?
6-2, and you're 6-3.
You historically, since we started doing this years ago, have for whatever reason been horrible on your locks. I have no idea, but I think your record win percentage on your locks would actually wind up being worse than your overall other 5 games somehow. I don't know what.
Yeah, last year I was 7-11, but none of us.
You have all this data. You're like the Buck Swope of Pick Six.
Last year, Tim, I believe you were the best. Yeah, you were the best at 8-10 with your locks.
That's great.
45%. Pete, for being 50-47, was 6-11 with his locks. He had the worst lock percentage of everybody, yet won the league.
I've told everyone I don't give a shit about locks. I just want to win.
I'm in the same boat, Pete.
Row the boat.
I mean, why would you care about the tiebreaker in a league that is unbelievably close? I don't know, but you know.
we got a lot of different tiebreakers. It seems like
I'm sure it's gonna be real close, pal.
I mean, I can hit 2 of my bonus picks this weekend. So
I
don't even know what the fuck we're talking. What's bonus pick?
Those are the
preseason the futures.
You can already hit them.
Yeah, I'm out on Iowa State. That one's dead. But when Northwestern loses this weekend, I will get my bonus point there, and if Rutgers wins, I'll get my bonus point there.
Wow.
That
Or
Northwestern
bonus
pick
win.
was solid.
Yeah,
was?
that Northwestern. They returned nobody. I mean that was the crux of it, is they returned nobody.
That was like a chalky futures play going into the year. I was aware of it. I didn't know why. I just knew that Northwestern was supposed to be dog shit. I have no idea why. I guess because of what you said. They had nobody coming back. Beats a shit
Yeah.
on me. All right. Well, that means producer Joe, you get to lead things off this week. We'll break. I'm all over Missouri, Georgia in a variety of different ways. You are, I'm sure, over the course of the history of this podcast, and then when it used to be a column, you have picked for and against Georgia, Georgia Tech, probably some Georgia States in there more than anything else, with you being a Baltimore/Atlanta native. Are you touching Georgia, Missouri at all in these picks?
Not in the picks at all. No.
Wow,
in
wow,
real
wow,
life,
wow.
in real life, I'm going over the 13.5 in the first quarter.
The first quarter.
Yeah, but not in the pool. I just think there's a lot of weird stuff that can happen. That they could be inside the 5 and just decide to run it as the first play of the second quarter. And Missouri sucks and Georgia's really, really, really good. There's just a lot of variance that can come into play with it, I think.
All right, so you feel better about 6 other games. Sounds good. Let's hear the first 5.
First game, Oklahoma State -3.5 at West Virginia. West Virginia had a big win last week. Expect them to come back to life a little bit after beating Iowa State. I will lay the 3.5 with the Cowboys. Next up, I mentioned Northwestern. They suck. Iowa offensively sucks. I am going under Iowa, Northwestern under 40.5. Clemson's next. They are at Louisville. Clemson covered for the first time all year in the most fluky of ways possible, but a cover is a cover. I will get them again this weekend. Lay the 4 points against Louisville, who's not any good either. Soccer play, Wolves and Palace over 2.5.
Did somebody just yawn? Did I hear a yawn?
I don't know.
Gangster Pete, I gotta assume it was you. I can't see G Unit. I have no idea what's going on with him.
It's the standard soccer pick, Yawn.
Were those their nicknames? The names of the teams?
Well,
those are nicknames? Wolf and the Palace?
Wolverhampton Wanderers and Crystal Palace. So Wolves and Palace over 2.5. And final play over.
Iggy does not like that play, just for the record. He must.
No, I like it. I like it. I just didn't know the abbreviations of it.
Final play, the Battle of Ohio, Browns and Bengals over 46.5. Those are my 5.
Oh, producer Joe is in the books. Hey, Ryan Kelly is our studio sponsor. We're in 6 different studios here, all in our homes. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. Ryan Kelly, if you are looking to refinance or buy a home, all you got to do is go online at TheHomeLoanExpert.com. Couldn't be any easier. I have done, I've gotten pre-approved twice here in the last 12 months and then refinanced with them about 20 months ago. It's so easy, and you're saving a bunch of money. Gangster Pete has just been whacked. Gangster Pete there he is. 20 months ago, I saved, I don't know, the point doesn't matter, like 12%, I think, just by refinancing. So easy. There's no professional. It's thehomeloanexpert.com. Once you do get refinanced, go to James Carlton, 314-961-4800 online at carltoninsurance.net. Just celebrated his 10th anniversary in business in the downtown Webster Groves location. He is my insurance agent, and I recommend he become yours as well. I got a text yesterday wanting an update my odometer for my car's mileage to save me money. That's what they do at James Carlton. They text it to make it easy. They save you money. 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. All right, here we go. I'm going heavy at Georgia, Missouri. Historically, I don't like to bet for or against Missouri because I'm emotionally attached, but this is business.
What is going on there, Pete?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's Pete.
It's Unit. I
muted him. You just Jay cough muted him.
It wasn't me.
Because
It wasn't
when
me.
Jay starts coughing, that's what you just did to G Unit.
It was Unit.
He's gone. All right. I'm diversifying my Georgia, Missouri. We'll start with this one. Georgia, first half, -24. I'm going Georgia, -24. Georgia, Missouri, first quarter, over 13.5. Georgia, Missouri, first quarter, over 13.5. Next up, along with the Georgia-Missouri plays, Kentucky plus 1.5 against Tennessee. Anybody surprised by that? I guess the prisoner of the moment would say Tennessee's surging and Kentucky's fading. I guess that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a bit of an overreaction to the one
Mississippi
freak
State.
week that Mike Leach and everything goes perfect for a quarterback.
What
Yeah.
about when Tennessee played Mizzou, and what about when Kentucky played Mizzou?
Nice. I like it. Transitive property. And I really like this game. I'm legitimately curious about this because I think Texas A&M may be one of the best teams in the country, and they're only giving up 4.5 at home against War Eagle. And I just don't really feel like War Eagle's that legitimate. So I really like A&M minus 4.5. Anybody else got a thought on that play? Is that anybody else's play? Notes, Nancy?
Auburn was on my short list, didn't make the cut.
You did not make the cut, so you were going to go War Eagle.
I was.
You were, all right. And then finally, Packers, Chiefs under 48. Packers, Chiefs under 48. Those are
Boy, no love for Jordan Love and a really shitty Chiefs offense.
kind of confused by what's going on. Was it you, Jackson, who had the breakdown of the situation with the Chiefs on the fact that they were missing Sammy Watkins?
Yeah, I think the fact that they don't have another option to throw to outside the numbers is really hurting both Kelsey and Hill because you can just lock in on those guys, and Kelsey can't get underneath without two guys who are deep threats.
And they have to hand the ball or like shovel pass it to McCall Hardman. Otherwise, they can't utilize his speed. So I'm starting to wonder if that's the play. So, yes, that's a
their offensive line
factor.
And turnover issues, that should regress back to the mean a little bit.
Yeah, that I mean, they know they made the trade this week. I don't know, but either way, Green Bay and Kansas City under 48. Hell, I mean, a game that I was really looking forward to watching just lost its luster with the Rodgers news. All right, who is up next?
Jackson.
Jackson, 3-3, big week.
Yep, let's follow it up. Let's follow it up with some heat. This game tips off here in a little less than 25 minutes. We got Nets, Hawks under 221. The Nets are 0-7 in overs, and the Hawks have not gone over on the road. Little fun points. Second pick, Kevin Durant, top point scorer tonight. Trae Young in the last two road games has a combined 28 points. Kevin Durant's averaging 26.5 in his last 5.
Is it just in this game, or is it Durant just in the Nets and Hawks game?
Correct.
Okay, not the top scorer in the NBA for the night, just the top scorer in the game.
Correct.
Okay.
Next, we will go with the Grizzlies team total over 107.5. Grizzlies team total over 107.5. We will then go to the fourth pick of Kings, Pelicans under 219.5. Kings have yet to go over at home, and both teams played in different cities last night. So they're traveling last night or today to play in Sacramento. So Kings, Pelicans under 219.5. And then my final pick before the lock is Mizzou, Georgia over 13.5 in the first quarter.
Oh, you're on the train.
Oh, yeah. How could you not be?
Welcome to the train. Who's up next, Prod Joe?
Next up is Unit.
G-Unit. All right, we're going.
I got to tell you, I don't know if you're aware of this, but somehow on the radio show where everyone gets their ass lit up in that text inbox on a daily basis, you, for whatever reason, this year are catching a lot of hell, and I have no idea why.
Well, was there some today?
No, it's usually the morning after we do pick 6. So tomorrow morning you'll get shit on by like 30 different textures.
If only they could see his fat ass.
Yeah, it's usually because he doesn't show himself. He doesn't show himself, so they make fun of you for not showing yourself.
That's fine. These fucking pussies should bring it.
Taking it to another level than the Raby Dork thing.
Yeah. You and Raby just endear yourself to the audience.
Oh, that's we're gonna go to the NFC South. Atlanta +6 at New Orleans. 63% of the bets are on New Orleans. 74% of the money is on Atlanta. That means the Sharps are on Atlanta. No Jameis means Atlanta covers the 6. I still like the Saints to win the game. Then we're going to New York. The Giants +3 at home against the Raiders. 78% of the public is still on the Raiders. I imagine that might change with this Ruggs going 156 miles per hour deal. But I mean, how much can this team handle? They're coming off a bye week, but it was kind of ruined by this latest controversy. So we saw the Giants can play a little bit last week against the Chiefs. I like them to win the game outright. Certainly, I'll take the points at home with the Raiders going across the country. Denver +9.5 at Dallas. I think Dallas wins. I don't think they win by 9.5. 65% of the public's on Dallas. That opened at 7 and was bet up to 9.5 pretty quickly. So it may still be going. I mean, it might go up to 10.5. So I'd wait if you're going to take Denver, but I like them to cover 9.5. Baltimore at home -6 against Minnesota. Pretty big loss for the Vikings last week. They had it against the Cowboys, so I think that this is kind of a really bad spot for them. Baltimore coming off the bye, I think historically Harbaugh is pretty good at that, so I like him to win by at least a touchdown in that game. And then we'll go to Cincinnati against Cleveland. I question Joe's play on the over-under, but I will take Cincinnati -2.5. Bounce back game for Cincinnati. Good rivalry. And this line says that they're a pick 'em on a neutral field, and I just don't believe that. I think Cincinnati's a better team. I think the line should be 4.5 or 5. So I'll take Cincinnati -2.5.
There it is. G units in the books. Prod Joe's next.
Pete.
Gangster Pete.
What's up, fellas? I've got the SMU Mustangs -4.5 at Memphis. Wake Forest +2.5 at UNC.
Like Wake Forest. I really kind of like NC. What are your thoughts on that, Gangster Pete?
Wake Forest offense is a machine. They both have bad defenses, but I think that Wake Forest will hold serve more often than UNC.
God bless.
We'll see. Baylor -6.5 at TCU. Michigan State -3 at Purdue. Fresno State -5 at Boise State.
There it is. Gangster Pete keeps it simple.
Are we going to talk a little bit about Pete's downfall, or are we going to wait for next week?
Well, Unit,
so
it's funny you bring that up.
What's Gangster Pete done over the last 3 weeks?
I've won 4 games.
1-5, 2-4. So you could say that he is getting better after last week. You know,
Nice, Joe.
going from 1-5 to 2-4.
Take your shots, boys. I'll take your money later.
I mean, he is the defending champion, but he was in command of this contest.
I mean, it's the life of a gambler, boys.
You know,
if you haven't been in a rut, you don't know shit.
Me and Peter in like a betting chat with a couple other guys that bet regularly, and he quit this week because people were making fun of how bad his picks were.
Oh no!
Just a fucking pussy.
The QAnon guy didn't chase you out, but this did.
No, it was one pick, some rando that never has an opinion on anything. It's like, thanks for that pick. I was like, fuck this. I don't need this shit.
I think Pete's just thinking of the people watching because he was running away with it. And if it's too big of a lead, nobody's going to watch. So he made it a little bit closer for everybody.
That's right.
Once again,
That's right.
you must have damaged your thought process.
Pip game strong.
Accident today, but I would think that if someone's running away with it, there would be like the weatherman era. People are very much interested in taking and tailing.
Well, you wouldn't know much about winning this thing, so
I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody's watching this for the picks.
Someday somebody will get on a heater. Who's next at Prod Joe? I guess it's got to be
Ken.
Only one left. I'm only going with 3 10-point Caesars this week.
Oh wow!
Thank God.
I keep playing these astronomical over-unders. Last week I lost 2 of them on goal line fumbles.
Really? What were those?
I forgot whatever my overline plays were last week.
Suspicious.
Both of them by 7.
It seems like 2 horrible bad beats.
Yeah, I think one was an overline. One was a team that didn't cover because of that. So anyway, what are you gonna do? my PGA Pro bet was my tour bet was good. I had could have had one over Pendrith, and Pendrith was only beating him by 19 shots going into the final round, leading the tournament.
Pendrith was in the mix to win that thing.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
a low
Leading
man.
after the third round.
Yeah.
And he was 17 under. And I think at the time Hadwin was like 5 under, and then couldn't catch him. Now this week, which doesn't make sense, he beat him by like 13 shots last week. This week, Hadwin is going against Pendrith again. This week, Hadwin is minus 140 after getting his ass kicked last week. So I don't get it. Anyway, here's my my first 3 teasers. Old Miss Liberty over 57.5. North Carolina Wake over 66. And in the NFL, Buffalo minus 4.5 versus Jacksonville. Second one, App State minus 11 versus Arkansas State. My favorite team to play all year, UTSA minus 1 versus UTEP.
No love from the College Football Playoff Committee, Iggy.
Yeah, I know. They nowhere to be found. And Denver's just playing so bad lately. And if I can tease this down to Dallas plus 1, I'm going to do it. Dallas plus 1 versus Denver. Third one, Rams plus 2.5 versus Tennessee. Cincinnati plus 7.5 versus Cleveland. K-State minus 13.5 versus KU. All right, these are PGA picks. Emilio Grillo minus 1. Grillo, I'm sorry. Grillo.
His name.
Grillo.
Grillo
Amelia
minus 1.
Emilio.
Grillo minus 115. Minus 115 to finish in the top 40. And Billy Horschel over Terrell Hatton for the tournament, minus 110.
The plays have been submitted by the player. Hey, before we go to our locks, how about Iggy, let's talk about Munganess today. You can do the live read right here. Jackson always talks about Mark Hanna. Prod Joe and Jackson both work with Mark Hanna. He's a business advisor for me. But what about Munganess and Jamie Burkhardt today with your car accident?
Well, when I texted you this morning, I said I was in an accident. I'll be in later, if at all.
Yeah.
I guess you said something on the air because within 15 minutes.
I texted Jamie, and he immediately texted me and then got on it.
And then Jamie's texting me saying, this, we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. We'll have a car to you when you get off the show at 10 o'clock. Clayton then texted me and said, your car's ready. Just go see Karen. Then Karen texted me, Iggy, your car's ready. Whenever you come by, it's just pull into the front. Talk to Clayton about, I'm going to need to do something for a new car. Obviously, this car is done. He said, we'll worry about that later. We got you this one. You're good. Just the greatest people. I mean, it's not just me. I mean, you can ask our listeners how well they're taken care of. They just care about people. They just care about people. So, I'd be sitting here without a car. I don't even know how I would have gotten home. And I'd be sitting here saying, Tim, I won't be in tomorrow because I don't have a car and I don't know where I'm going to get one. These guys made it possible. And they do every time something happens with my car. And they always take care of our listeners. So they're great people. I can't thank them enough.
They really are. It's been a great partnership, Munganess. StLouisAcura.com, AltonToyota.com for service for pre-owned cars and, of course, new cars. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Munganess, StLouisAcura.com, AltonToyota.com. Action Jackson, tell the great people about Mark Hanna at Evergreen Wealth Strategies. 314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com.
Well, similarly to Munganess with Iggy, Mark Hanna helps people out. That's just what he does. It's in his blood to help people out. That's what he wants to do for you. He doesn't want to give you a cookie cutter plan that everyone else gets. No, he wants to learn about you, where you're at in life, what your goals are, and cater a plan to you. And he's not just going to tell you about that plan. He's going to educate you about that plan so that you're informed, everybody's informed, and we know what the next move is. And that's super important when you're talking about something as important as planning for your financial future. That's why I work with Mark Hanna, because he doesn't give cookie cutter plans. That's not what he does. He helps people out, and he wants to help you out no matter what stage of life you're at. So please, I implore you to call Mark Hanna as soon as possible. If you don't have a plan, that's a bad plan. A good plan is calling Mark Hanna. And if you already have someone, I suggest calling Mark Hanna because he is just that good. You should make the switch. Mark Hanna, best in the business.
There it is, 314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. And the great Seth Goldcamp is coming to our home, I think this week. He and his staff to do a tune-up on our furnace. Major recommendation to do that in the month of November. All veterans get that service for free. And if you are not a veteran, you can go online at designairservice.com and just click on book now, right now, and get that taken care of. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. The great Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling. Go online right now, designairservice.com, and book to get that furnace tune up and take care of it now, because it is going to be cold as hell coming up here. What do we got? Well,
Tonight's going to suck. Make sure you attach your hoses.
Down. Do we get to the 20s? My app says low 30. Iggy has excused himself.
Our weatherman's on his side.
Iggy doesn't get into the 20s tonight.
It's going to be close. I got it at 31, but we'll see.
31. All right, there it is, Joe. Joe, it won't get into the 20s.
No, but my yard got aerated and overseeded yesterday, which was
We got a lot of
perfect timing.
pronunciations going on here.
Aerated, huh?
Aerated and overseeded, perfect time of the year.
You got that done yesterday?
Yeah.
How do you have that? You're a former lawn guy. How do you have that?
I don't aerate and overseed it myself. I hire that out.
Yes.
And the company does a great job. But yeah, they were a little late this year in getting the work done. Although it warms up next week, so it's not the end of the world here.
There can be golf next week. Iggy, do you see this shit? Sunday,
yeah,
68, Monday 68,
yep.
Tuesday 66. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I checked Doppler last week when I was going to make that prediction of no more over 60s, and then it shot out the next weekend's temperatures, even this weekend. So I stopped on that. I didn't make that prediction, but starting this weekend, and I don't see any rain in the forecast for like another 8 days too. So
I'm telling you,
Wow.
the weather. There was a high of 68 on Sunday and a 68 on Monday and 66 on Tuesday. So God bless America. Either way, it's going to be freezing tonight, and it's coming either way. So work with Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. Prod Joe, it's time for our locks of the week. You and I value our locks. The rest of the dais doesn't care. Go.
I am looking at a bounce back game for the Chargers, disappointing last week against New England, whereas the Eagles got to take essentially an extra bye week by playing the Lions. I will take the Chargers -2 in Philadelphia against the Eagles.
If you listen to the radio program or this podcast, you already know where I am. Georgia -10, first quarter, Fighting Tigers between the hedges, 11 o'clock Saturday morning. I feel like it is a once in every 4 to 5 year situation as far as a wager goes. What I'm going to do is hedge with the first half, Georgia -24, and hedge with Georgia, Missouri total first quarter 13.5. That is how I'm going to diversify, but really like the possibility of hitting all three. But I feel like that 13.5 helps reduce the risk on Missouri getting a pick six. But I cannot see a scenario in which Georgia doesn't score 2 touchdowns. And even if Missouri gets the ball first, I just can't see it. But that's my logic. Anybody else love this, hate this? Joe is against it. He's explained his reasoning.
If Georgia gets the ball twice, you win.
That's my that's the logic.
How could they not? But how could they not get the ball twice?
I know. I mean, I don't see us getting a first down.
I bet you they have the ball at least 4 times in the first quarter.
If you gave me an over-under of 3.5 on Georgia ball, that would be tough because I think they're going to score so damn quickly. Now, Brady Cook's playing quarterback. I know Drinkwitz is acting like he doesn't know that, but that's what's going on. And I don't know if that's a variable, Joe. When I jumped into the chat, you were talking to Jackson. It was just the two of you. And you
the stuff I worry
other.
No, the stuff I worry about is with first quarter bets, unlike a first half bet where a team's going to try and score at the end of the first half, is that say Georgia's up 7-0 and they're driving and there's 30 seconds left and they're inside Missouri's 5. There's nothing that incentivizes them to score because it's not going to be super windy there, so they're not going to be worried about kicking it one direction or another, that they could just slow play it and then go down to the other side of the field, first play of the second quarter, score a touchdown, and then it's 14-0.
Or it's stopped.
I get that in a normal situation, but I mean, if you've watched Missouri this year, and I don't know how much people have really watched it, in SEC
more than I would have liked.
Yeah, I mean, the Vanderbilt thing being an outlier. It was, 14 points in the first quarter against Kentucky, 28 against Tennessee, and 21 against A&M. And this is Georgia, which I think might be one of the best teams we've seen in our lifetimes here. Not in the usual way, too, just because the defense. And they're doing it defensively in an era of offense. And what is their strength? Running the football. What is Missouri's weakness? Stopping the run.
Everything.
It's a perfect storm. And in talking with the Wizard, who lives by half-point shifts, he goes, this could have been at least 13.5, and it was just a miss. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to cover, but it just shows the edge. But you are talking about 15 minutes. You're not talking about 60 minutes. So, you are exposing yourself to variance. I just don't know how in the hell Georgia doesn't score 2 touchdowns. So that is the logic. Georgia -10 first quarter. That is my lock. Action Jackson, you're up next, kind sir.
Well, I really liked CJ McCollum over 2.5 threes, but it was -125. And, I'm a man of honor. Yeah, so I can't play it. So I'll settle for Mizzou or Georgia -10 in the first quarter.
A reluctant.
You're gonna gain some ground with that.
Yep.
I want McCollum over threes, but can't do it.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Who's up next?
Unit.
Oh, God. By the way, Unit. I don't know. Well,
Put the
Jackson
ho-ho down.
his NBA picks and Iggy's doing his teasers. I just was browsing on Instagram and Twitter, and I saw that a gentleman was really unhappy with you on Twitter.
About what?
What do we have going on here?
Knock it off, Joey.
G-Unit is not funny. He refuses to share his identity and is unremarkable at picking games. Why is he a part of this? Can I replace him next year? I will promise to be more compelling than he is. And it's just from a guy. I don't know. But either way.
Well,
a guy.
I might retire after I take this season down, make it a 2-time champion, and then I'll call it a career. It'll make that guy happy. How about that?
Nice.
You just got haters. That means you've made it.
Yeah, I mean that's the cost of doing business, man.
Yeah.
I've got Jacksonville plus 14.5 as my lock. They're playing against Buffalo. This line opened up Buffalo -11. We bet up to 14.5 immediately. Buffalo, 87% of the public's on. Coming off a 15-point win against the Dolphins. It's interesting because it's a weird stretch for Buffalo against pretty much the worst teams in the NFL. They had a bye, and then they play at home against Miami, and now they're at Jacksonville, and then they're at New York Jets. It's easy.
Are you actually eating while you do this?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Does it sound like I'm chewing?
Yes, you fat fuck.
No, I just have I have a dip in. A dip.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my pick, you fucking cuck.
You fucking cock.
Sounded like you're eating out of a tin can. Are you eating beans?
Hey, what? No, I'm not eating. I actually just had. I had some.
The audience is coming at him. The hosts are coming at him.
Hey, what's that guy's Twitter handle, Tim? The guy that's talking. What's his Twitter handle?
Oh, yeah. You gonna fucking fight him?
You wouldn't last 2 minutes on the morning after. You would be psychologically ravaged by the time I did my first live read. You can see it. It's under the TMA account that Jackson tweets from. Prod Joe, who do we have next?
Pete.
Houston, -13 at South Florida.
Gangster Pete just fires bullets, man.
Nobody wants to hear a guy that's won 4 games in 3 weeks talk about football. So I'm not gonna do it.
G-Unit's
G-Unit's delusional.
Well, you want me to respond to that or something?
Well, you want to go find this random guy on Twitter and chew his ass out. Why not say something?
Well, to be honest, my record on the show is 27-27, but I went 0-6 in college.
Oh, did you? You've never mentioned that.
So I'm
it's
27,
like different strokes
27.
and Arnold saying, "What you talking about?" It's not an episode until the unit does its 0-6. Tagline.
I think 27 and 21 is like professional type of betting percentages. So,
But it's not your record.
But you add that to your 46% from last year. What are we looking at?
That's my NFL record. Hey,
All right.
Pete,
Yeah.
pipe down.
No G unit. Don't eat me.
All right.
All right, who's next? Gangster
There's only one person
Pete's already
left.
gone, so it's Iggy.
Is there any butt sex talk this week? That's the only reason why I'm here.
I only came for the anal. Jackson had loads and loads of anal while in Nashville.
Here's
When in
something.
Rome.
Here's something I guarantee nobody's going to agree with me. I'm watching old episodes. I'm on season 8 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Before I get
So
the
am
new
I,
season.
Iggy. I'm literally doing the same thing, and I'm on season 8. What episode
I'm
are you on?
Car Periscope.
Yes, I just watched it last night.
Jana
well,
Soprano's in that episode.
She is.
Yeah. So did this stick out to you? I never knew that. I mean, she's not that attractive, but I never knew that Wanda Sykes had such big tits.
Perfect.
We can't stream that.
Oh,
Iggy.
man.
Yeah, it's gonna get us taken down. HBO
I could really see from here.
us.
Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, I never noticed how big they were.
Joe biting his tongue. Look.
Good job, Joe.
I didn't say she was attractive. I just kind of thought she was a small woman. I never noticed how big they were.
All right, there it is. That take
Anyway,
Is that your lock?
my lock. Wanda Sykes has big tits. No, it's actually
You covered season 8.
and I love the Georgia -10. I said that before it even came out. But I look at it and say, with my luck, if I bet it, they'll be up, 14-0, and then here comes a miraculous break of 80 yards from Mizzou run, but anything. I'll get screwed somehow. So I just went with my lock is Georgia, Missouri over 13.5 in the first quarter.
There it is. A lot of Georgia, Missouri action out there on this Pick Six podcast presented by Tullamore Dew. Looking forward to watching it on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. I just think that I don't know. I mean, there was I sent it to Jackson. There was a thread on Power Mizzou. Gangster Pete, you're Power Mizzou, right?
No.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
I'm not on any of the boards.
I'm picking up a read. I might 3-bet you light. I see G Unit's mic has been turned off. I don't know if he would be on there. But there was a guy who posed the question, if Missouri were to beat Georgia on Saturday, would it be the biggest upset and comparable to them beating Oklahoma in 2010? And I'm just like, we clearly have a different recollection of Missouri, Oklahoma in 2010. Missouri was number 11 in the country and undefeated. And Oklahoma, while number 1 and thrilling if you were there, Oklahoma as a number 1 in October of 2010 was a different number 1 than this Georgia in 2021. Are we in agreement on that?
Yeah, when Gone McGaffey returned that kickoff was one of the loudest I've ever heard that play.
What was it?
Insane.
Weren't we 3-point dogs in that game?
I don't remember.
I think it was 3 or 4. I
can find it in 1 second.
We thought we had a chance to win going in. I mean,
well, they sure as hell weren't 38.
I believe that if Missouri were to win this game, it would be the third biggest upset in college football history, not Missouri. College football. I guess Stanford beating USC in 2007 apparently was some monster. I don't, and we were Jackson and I think we're texting, or maybe it was another friend of mine. I was texting about App State. And does anybody know what the number was?
Michigan. Yeah, that was 2007.
That was 2007 as well.
Yeah. I remember that. Hey, for whatever reason, our buddy the MVP is a big Michigan fan, right, Tim?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that was Labor Day weekend, so he was over at the Soulard Country Club when we were sitting in the pool. And then all of a sudden, I think he threw his phone because he checked a score, and I had no idea what was going on. But yeah.
When Michigan lost on the block kick.
Yeah.
I mean, Missouri and Georgia play 100 times. How many times does Missouri win?
0.
2.
Jackson gives 1. There he is.
Tiger pride.
Yep. I mean, this is just a different operation. And it's not just Georgia being great. It's how bad Missouri is. I mean, they were fighting for their lives against Vanderbilt. So, This is a different.
Well, they were on the road.
And a hell of an atmosphere.
If you would have been there, Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson, you get the reporting on it for us. So
they got a great defense, and Mizzou's defense turns Georgia's offense into a juggernaut.
And it's all run. So listen, it would be incredible. I would be happy to take the loss for the entertainment of Missouri beating Georgia. I just can't even put like a percentage point on it.
What does Georgia do? Does Georgia go and get JT Daniel working this game too, since he hasn't played in 5 weeks? So you're going to go back to the week 1 starter who lost his job just because he got hurt, and Stetson Bennett's been so good that he hasn't lost the job back. Like, that's the other side of it. I mean, do they throw 20 combined passes for the entirety of the game?
Just to get working? Do you think they establish a lead and then just start dicking around?
Yeah, I mean, I think JT Daniel has to play.
He'll get some confidence.
Just because he hasn't played. Yeah, it is. It is the ultimate slump buster. Just because he hasn't played. And so, Georgia can just trot out 5 different running backs and run the ball 60 times if they want to. I just don't know how much they're really going to throw the ball. So maybe they don't bring JT Daniels into play.
They're in Knoxville next week, but then after that, I think they have maybe just Georgia Tech left. They're done with the SEC after Knoxville. I know that.
You're forgetting about Charleston Southern, I believe. The warm up before
Charleston Southern. So Tennessee is the best team they play between now and Roll Tide.
December 4th. Yep, December 4th.
Roll Tide. Oh, so
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think this is another operation. And I cited Missouri K-State 99. I don't know if anybody remembers that. That was 66-0. And I felt like there was another Missouri game where I was just like, holy shit, I can't believe this spread. Did anybody on this podcast jump on A&M at 8.5?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I mean, we were kind of looking at that going, what in the hell? This is the same deal except to another level. I just, for the life of me, don't get it. I just think it was a miss. I think the 39 is about right. I think that I wouldn't bet that. I mean, if I had to bet it, I'd bet Georgia, but I wouldn't bet it.
We were guessing what it would be on Saturday night. And I said I thought it would be like in the high 20s, but I think it should be like 42.
Yeah.
I was surprised it was 38.
Well, we were talking about it on the show, and Iggy was like, because he was just playing out the math, and he was thinking it would be like, what? Maybe you even said 12, Iggy, or were you always on 10?
I said if it's less than 12, I would bet the house on it.
Yeah. And I thought it would be, what did I say, 18.5 or something like that?
Yeah, we were closer to the 20s.
Yeah.
I think that 38-point spread, you got to remember, Mizzou's now the only team in college football that has not covered. So they know there's going to be a lot of action against them for that reason. So I bet you there's a few points added into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like 45-6 is right in the wheelhouse of the outcome of this thing. But Gabe, I don't know. I know no one, of course, is on Power Mizzou on this thing other than me. But Gabe wrote about it and said Drinkwitz is the kind of coach that he could see Kirby Smart wanting to score a couple extra touchdowns on just to shove it up his ass with the Luther Burden thing, and then also just the way that he acts. I know Missouri fans love it, but some other SEC coaches might not be a big fan and wouldn't mind kind of going Vanderbilt on him. So
humble him a little bit.
Missouri has any way to stop this operation. So, not that that's a hot take. That's why I'm betting on it.
What's worse, in all honesty? What's worse, getting drubbed 66-0, or Georgia starting to take a knee in the third quarter to give the ball back, knowing that Missouri can't score on them? Which one makes it look worse?
The latter. The latter is.
I think so too.
I'd take it.
I think so too.
But I mean, don't you think Drinkwitz was kind of grinding clock against A&M?
Yeah, he totally was.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Jeff Fishered it.
Mm-hmm.
That honestly was more concerning to me than the first half against Tennessee. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is trying to do a cosmetic loss. Holy shit. All right, well, the wagers are in, boys. Enjoyed it as always. Jackson, congratulations on all the anal in Nashville. Iggy, glad you are feeling better. And we will see how this Georgia-Missouri wager shakes out this weekend. For Max Jackson, Prod Joe, G Unit, and Iggy and Gangster Repeat, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been another edition of the Pick Six Podcast on the Tim McKernan Show, presented by Tullamore.